Beautiful night in the Mile High City. A beautiful way to welcome in the weekend. The Rockies continuing their homestand against the Milwaukee Brewers, a team that's hung tough in that National League Central Division. They led the division for a good portion of this 2017 campaign. They're a game and a half behind Chicago right now as German Marquez makes his way to the Coors Field mound. We're in purple tonight. He's looking for his 10th victory. He's been outstanding, especially in the second half, coming off the one wobbly performance he's had really in the last couple of months. That was down in Miami last Saturday.
Yeah, where he gave up 7 hits and just 4 1/3, 9-5 record. At home, he's 5-2 with the .431 in 9 starts. In his last 7 starts here at Coors Field, he's 5-0 with the .272. So there's no issue about, hey, can he pitch at Coors Field? Now it's time for What's in the Tank, brought to you by Conoco, and it will be a fastball, curveball, changeup, slider combination. And I thought in the last start, the one you were referencing a moment ago, his curveball wasn't as sharp as it's been in the past. And I look for that after a side session, clean it up a little bit, where he's got those 2 pitches back. Because this is a team that strikes out a lot, the Milwaukee Brewers.
They punch out a lot, but they hit a lot of home runs. And as we talked about a few minutes ago, they've won 4 consecutive ball games. They had yesterday off. It was a travel day for the Brewers. Well, the Rockies suffered a 10-4 defeat. Speaking of home runs, Atlanta hit a bunch of home runs against Jeff Hoffman, 4 solo shots. So the Rockies ended up with a 2-2 split against Atlanta. First pitch of the ball game misses high and away on Eric Thames. Now it's interesting, he's hitting leadoff, which he does not ordinarily do. Craig Counsell's changing up his lineup a little bit, and a jam shot, little pop up, and Nolan makes the catch, 1 out. Take a look at the Southwest batting order for the Brewers tonight. Neil Walker's batting second. You say, wait a second, Neil Walker's a Brewer? Yeah. He got traded after the July 31st trade deadline, so he had to clear waivers. He came from the Mets and a player to be named later. Braun's battled a hamstring injury, but when he's well, he has swung the bat like Ryan Braun. Shaw's had a big year. Santana's got big power. Manny Pena they like a lot. Broxton's hot and cold. Orlando Arcia's had a nice year. Pitch misses to Neil Walker, ball 1. Walker, switch hitting second baseman who fits right in with Milwaukee because it's up and down this lineup. They have guys that will hit the ball over the wall. They have 9 guys. They're about to have 10 guys. Hopefully it doesn't happen in this series with 10+ home runs because Manny Pena has 9. Yeah,
and Neil had 11 when he was playing with the Mets, hitting .273 during that time. It was kind of interesting how that all happened because he was taking batting practice when this trade and all this, hey, he's going to Milwaukee, came down. So he's still wearing a Mets uniform out there thinking he's getting ready for a ball game.
Yep, this is just his 4th game with the Brew Crew. Marquez working ahead 1-2, and a good fastball and a swing just to save the at-bat. Remains 1-2 on Walker.
I thought this was a big pickup for Milwaukee. Jonathan VR playing second base, it struggled, and so they needed somebody, a switch hitter that doesn't strike out as much, and it's really professional at bats.
Oh, let's see. When you get a Neil Walker, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a nice pickup.
Well, and he's been in that division too. Playing all those years with Pittsburgh.
Craig Counsell in his 3rd year now as the skipper of the Brewers. He, along with Buddy Black, at the end of the year should garner a lot of consideration for manager of the year. 2-2. Of course, Dave Roberts obviously will, with the kind of year that the Dodgers have had.
But I think these 2 guys would get more.
Well, because it was somewhat unexpected.
Yeah. I think if you think of the Dodgers, you thought that they would probably be at the top of the division, or in the conversation at least.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Walker's battling away. Speaking of the Pirates and Neil Walker's old club, to end the homestand, Milwaukee at Miller Park won a little 2-game set against Pittsburgh. This will be an interesting road trip for them. They will play here over the weekend. They will go to San Francisco and Los Angeles as well. On the ground, deep in the hole, and DJ rights himself and throws out Walker. That was a great play by DJ.
That wasn't as easy as he made it seem.
We just assumed now with him for years. Here's the defensive alignment for the Rockies, #1 in baseball, and their infield is just extraordinary. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, and Reynolds. The former Brewer, Jonathan Lucroy, you know he's excited about playing Milwaukee. Traded last year before the deadline to Texas. Turned down the trade, as we've explained, to Cleveland. He's behind the dish tonight. Here's DJ.
Yeah, it's a great look on the Subaru Supermo. How he had to go with it with 2 hands because he wasn't quite sure how that hop was gonna, how it was gonna be. Was it gonna catch the lip of the grass?
Ryan Braun fouls that pitch off. It's 1-1. Braun, kind of like Ian Desmond, has battled a calf injury
a couple different times.
A couple different times, and that's really the same situation for Ian. Came back and redid his calf. The Rockies being super cautious now with Desmond. It's funny, I'm sure, seeing Lucroy catching with his longtime teammate Braun standing in the box.
Jonathan was giving some hugs out during batting practice earlier today. He's got has a lot of friends on the Brewers team, staff.
Got to. 7 years in the big leagues with Milwaukee. This ball's hit a long way but foul. The things about Ryan Braun. You want to know if that was a strike or not. Braun can hit the ball out of the yard from foul pole to foul pole.
That's what makes him so tough. Kind of stands off the plate but has a long reach to get to the outside pitch.
And he gets him on a breaking ball in the dirt. Good start. Lucroy will finish the play to Reynolds. And Marquez has a 1-2-3 first inning. See if the Rockies can get after Matt Garza when we come back. It was his team-leading 28th of the year. He has scored more runs than anybody in the sport this season with 111. He's atop the Southwest batting order of that man, Buddy Black. DJ will bat second. Nolan again, he with the sore hand. He's in the lineup. Hard to get him out of there. Nobody wants him out of there, unless you're, of course, you're the opposition. Gerardo Parra, Mark Reynolds, Cargo, Jonathan Lucroy, Trevor Story, and German Marquez are facing the 33-year-old Matt Garza, who has been around the block a couple of times. Never has enjoyed pitching at Coors Field, though.
0-3 in 3 games with an 8.82 ERA. And even the other 4 games where he wasn't pitching at Coors, not much better. 2-5 with the 6.10 ERA. He is cutting his fastball a little bit more this year than what he has done in the past, so it will be a 2-seamer and a 4-seamer. He also is pitching in more. Hopefully, for him, is what he's thinking is will get him to a slider and his curveball. For the Rockies, they have to make sure that they lay off that one that's cutting in towards the hands, because he'll give you enough pitches to hit.
Yeah, Matt used to have a really big arm. He works more around 92 these days. And the first pitch is at 91. It's in there for a strike. Jim Wolf's behind home plate. DJ Rayburn at first. Sam Holbrook's the crew chief. He's at second, and Nick Lentz is at third base. And Charlie, there it is.
There it is. That's the curveball. That's one he likes to get to. Not afraid to throw it here. And even though his numbers aren't good, he's got to try to make sure that he shows something at a softer speed.
Milwaukee now with 2 strikes on Charlie. Shifts 3 to the right side. Blackman not only hit the home run in the 9th yesterday, he had a couple of other hits. Finished 5 out of 15 in the Atlanta series. One-two, and this ball's well hit like last night, way back, and great start. Home run number 29. He went oppo in the 9th inning yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was 371 feet on the home run. You know, they're playing him to pull. He says, well, if you're going to throw me a slider down and away, I'm going to hit it that way. And he got some elevation on it, kept traveling. He got this on the sweet spot of the bat. The left fielder, Ryan Braun, just ran out of real estate.
That's exactly how you like to start the evening.
Especially behind in the count, 1-2.
Now he matches his career best in home runs from last year when he hit 29. 77 driven in. Nobody's driven in more out of the top spot in the lineup in baseball this year. It's a 6th leadoff home run this year for Charlie. 2-0 now on LeMahieu. DJ 4 for 8 lifetime with 3 driven in against Matt Garza.
Charlie checking the bat out to see where he got it. Charlie, I can tell you, he got it on the sweet spot. Trust me.
How about the adjustment he made on a breaking ball? DJ line shot, base hit right field. These look like they had their hitting shoes on early, huh?
It's nice to see. You know, Matt Garza come in. He took the win against Cincinnati in his last start, but he's having trouble going deep into a game. 5 consecutive starts where he hasn't pitched into the 6th. Now DJ just gets the ball up, inside out, 2-0 count.
Classic DJ swing.
Yeah, it's fun hitting when you're ahead in the count 2-0.
A whole lot better than hitting 0-2, right? So here's Nolan. He ended up 1 for 2 in the game yesterday before being removed. He's 3 for 6 with a home run against Garza. Strike 1 on Arenado. Nolan in the first inning this year, he was hitting .437. 10 doubles, a triple, 7 home runs, 25 driven in. Nobody has produced more in inning number 1 than the Rockies all-star third baseman. That's a good take. Spinning away, 1-1.
And Mark was talking about Nolan in our open and getting the interview, and his hands a little swollen. There was no such reaction whatsoever during batting practice today. You and I were watching, and he never once shook his hand, never once said, oh, ow, that one kind of hurt.
You know what's funny with Nolan? He's such a tough guy, and he loves to play so much. You knew he was going to be in the lineup.
Oh, heck yeah. I knew he was going to be in the lineup when it hurt after the game that the X-rays came back negative, because same thing happened on Sunday and he almost played Monday. He did, in fact, didn't start.
That's a good 3-1, and the key for any pitcher, especially Matt Garza with his track record against the Rockies and his track record at Coors Field. He's 2-0-3-1. You got to love the Rockies' chances tonight.
Well, it'd be a great night for the hitter, short night for Matt Garza.
DJ at first, a run already in. And this is smoked to third, and Shaw makes a great play. And DJ does enough to get into Neil Walker, so Nolan will trade places with LeMahieu, and that'll bring up Gerardo Parra.
Look at some Milwaukee people. They were giving a lot of credit to Travis Shaw over at third base and the defense that he had been playing over there.
He had a 69-game errorless streak at third base. You think the Red Sox could use Travis Shaw?
I think they could.
He's had a great year offensively and defensively. You can't say that for everybody, because defensively for the Brewers, it's been problematic. Overall, they're 28th in baseball in fielding percentage. They've made a lot of errors in their outfield. Keon Broxton in center has 6 errors.
And Santana in right has 5. They have 91 errors as a team. Last in the National League in fielding percentage.
Milwaukee with the shift on and Parra up. He showed bunt. So now Shaw is going to place himself again. I don't understand this, but it's no man's land for me.
Because
he's not going to defend the bunt from where he is.
because he's got to try to come all the way over here to try to get that. If there's a bunt, too hard to make that throw then.
No swing. 2-0 on Parra. Parra in 2014 got traded to Milwaukee. He did a really good job in the Brewers organization. He had over 300, and he was coveted around the trade deadline. Milwaukee was out of it, and they sent him to Baltimore.
Look at Gerardo, as you know, the energy he brings too. The way he can keep a club loose.
It's been huge for the Rockies this year. 2-1. Gerardo in that 17-run game on Wednesday, one of the many hitting stars. He drove in 4 on Wednesday. And slowly hit to second. Gerardo's got to get up the line, and they'll turn it over on him. 4-6-3 ends the inning as Parra rolls into a double play, but the Rockies take a 1-0 lead on the 29th home run for Chuck Nasty. 1-0 Rockies going to inning number 2 at Coors Field.
Astros. Let me go back to the first series of this year when the team opened up at Milwaukee. Those two guys were a combined 13 for 30. They had big series. It got them off to the seasons they're having. Gerardo's been over 300 since he came off the DL. And, of course, Reynolds at 280. His career batting average is at 235. And, Huey, if I remember right, you have made a point of saying that if you get off to a good start, it just carries through, and if not, it could just be detrimental for the entire season, right?
Well, at least for a little bit anyway, until you get your swing right. You just feel so much better, Mark. Like these guys, you say Gerardo went 6 for 15, Mark went 7 for 15. You feel better about yourself, no doubt.
Word is there's a little shindig over at the Casey tonight. And we haven't been over there yet, so I think I'm going to crash that party. I've got some party favors, and I'm ready.
What is that you're wearing around your neck?
This, Drew, is an awesome Rockies necklace / beer can opener or beer bottle opener.
We're not going to see.
Purpose.
You know, well, we're not going to see Mark the rest of the game.
I don't know. I think this might be useful.
Right center field, pretty well hit, and it's gone.
No way.
That thing just carried out of the ballpark for Domingo Santana, who is a strong young man. That's his 20th of the year, and that ties the game at 1. You see the route Charlie took? I think he thought this was going to be a fairly routine fly ball, and then he just kept fading back, and it was over the fence.
He'd come into the game just 9 for his last 64. See where this pitch is. It's inside. So he gets the leg kick going on the Subaru Supermo, pulls the hands in, gets a high finish on it. But I'm with you, Drew. Watch Charlie take after this. He's thinking, I got it. Okay, now I got to look for the wall. I might have to play it off the wall. And then it's probably 10 or 15 feet over that wall.
It turns out not to be even close.
No.
Well, that is what Milwaukee does. They hit home runs. Only the Mets have hit more home runs this year in the National League. On 2 hops to Story, he'll throw out the catcher, Pena.
Well, their game on Wednesday, they scored 7 runs, but they were all via the home run because they hit 5 home runs.
That'll bring up Keon Broxton. Speaking of home runs, he had been in a pronounced slump. He pinch hit on Tuesday. Didn't even play center field. Jonathan VR played center field. That's how much of a funk Broxton's been in, because VR had never played center field before. And he got a chance to hit off the bench, hit a home run, and then Wednesday he hit 2 more.
1 to right center, 1 to left center.
He's got 19 himself. That's back up the middle and a base hit. 2 outs. That'll bring up Orlando Arcia. It's time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, check this out. This is percentage of runs scored via the home run in baseball this year. Toronto has the highest percentage, more than 51% of their runs scored through home runs. Texas next, then Milwaukee. The Rockies, the other end of the spectrum, they have the 4th lowest percentage of runs scored using the home run, which I think if somebody told you that going into the season, you say, I don't know if the Rockies will be #1. I don't think you want to be #1. You want to be a team that, you know, can produce in a variety of ways. But I wouldn't have seen them in the bottom, 4, would you?
No, I think probably in the top 10, maybe.
You see that one coming. That's not an easy play. And Story unable to come up with it with a plus runner going in Arcia. So 2 on, and it'll bring up Garza.
Wasn't hit particularly hard. We've seen Trevor make this play before. You got a speedy runner. That just goes off the end of his glove. So the Subaru Supermo just doesn't quite get it into that webbing. Because I think if he makes that play, and it will go down as an error, I think if he makes that play, he throws out Arcia by 1.5 steps.
So here's Garza, who fortunately, jinx has never been much of a hitter. Garza takes strike 1. That's spent a lot of time in the American League as well as the National League. He is 22, folks, for 268. 22 for 268 in his career with 152 strikeouts. And another slow roller hit to short. Story throws out Garza. In the inning, Domingo Santana ties the game with a high fly ball over the wall in right center. And this is the timeless moment brought to you by Coors Banquet. This is Cargo against Matt Garza a long time ago, 2009. That's Cargo's first home run as a Rocky. We're going to break down his approach back in '09 versus today, because it looks different.
Yeah, we thought we might get the wrong video because it just didn't look like him.
Not much leg movement.
No.
We'll break it down in a moment. Cargo's going to hit second. Mark Reynolds will lead things off. After Cargo comes Jonathan Lucroy. The Rockies got a home run from Blackman in the first, and then DJ had a sharp single right after that. But then the Rockies ended up hitting a couple ground balls, one that turned into a double play. The Rockies made a couple of roster moves earlier this afternoon of note. Jeff Hoffman was optioned down to Albuquerque, and more on that in a moment. Ryan McMahon was also optioned to AAA Albuquerque, 2 for 9. His first opportunity to play at the big league level. Scott Oberg's coming back up. He was throwing the baseball better down in Albuquerque. And Mike Tauchman, who will give you good at bat, will be here for the near term. And Jeff Hoffman, his velocity was down considerably yesterday. I know he didn't feel well. And I think the Rockies are just going to step away, Huey, for a couple of days and let Jeff just rest.
It's kind of what they've done with all these young guys. Whether it was Kyle Freeland who did it because of the groin, but they did it with Antonio. They just backing off him for about 5 or 6 days, not going to throw, and then they'll make a determination on really the next step in the next course. But Jeff hadn't been pitching particularly well since the All-Star break, so it's just a chance for him to back away. And I think moving forward, because they're not going to need another starter until next week sometime, my guess is it's going to be Antonio Senzatella.
The one thing, knock on wood, one of the areas the Rockies, and that's another strike on Mark, 0-2. The Rockies have more depth than I can ever recall them having with starting pitching and quality starting pitching. Now Chad Bettis is back in the fold. You have Tyler Chatwood down in the bullpen, Antonio Senzatella down in the bullpen. Most teams are looking all over the place for pitching this time of year.
And I think for Antonio, the reason he would be the natural fit is because what he did in Cleveland in that start, where he went 5 innings, and then the 2 innings that he threw yesterday.
Both he and Chatwood are throwing the ball well out of the bullpen. 1-2 on Reynolds, 2-2 on Mark. know, Mark did his thing in Milwaukee in terms of the home run. He didn't hit for much average as a member of the Brewers. Two and two on Reynolds. And 3-2. Something Mark's doing better than at any time in his career. Working counts.
And walking too. If it gets that 57 walks for Mark, that's clearly the leader for the Rockies.
Strike three. So the first strikeout for Garza. He didn't give in on a fastball.
Well, I don't think that he's going to give in. That's just not Garza's style now. There's a slider down and away. Catches the plate and the knees of Mark.
It's got a lot of depth, that slider. 83 miles an hour, and it's a slider that drops considerably. Cargo has 4 hits lifetime against Garza. 3 of them are home runs.
Well, here's the swing and the breakdown on the left side back in 2009. Just look at it. There's no stride whatsoever over there, but then watch this one. Goes up here before it starts to go back down. Just completely different swings as far as getting to that baseball and how he does it. The swing itself is the same once the foot hits the ground.
We were watching that video earlier, and if somebody didn't tell me that was Cargo, I wouldn't have. First of all, I didn't remember that was his approach, and it just looks like a different guy. It looks like, you know, he's spread out like a slap hitter. In 2010, he had the near MVP season. He led the league in hitting. He had 34 home runs. The breakout for me was the 09 postseason, 10-17 against the Phillies.
And hitting leadoff. We forget about that he did that, was the engine for a while.
This ball showed up, and Garza beat Cargo with it. 2-2. 26 pitches in. Garza with 13 strikes, 13 balls. Two outs, nobody on, and the longtime Brewer will come up, Jonathan Lucroy. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos, questions on Twitter or Instagram at AT Sportsnet RM, and don't forget to use the hashtag ToyotaTalk. Watching the game this morning from Bangkok. Welcome to tomorrow.
Well, if it's already tomorrow, can they tell us how this game ends?
That's a good one, Huey. I was in Bangkok for a while years ago. Fascinating city, fascinating country. Thailand, very warm people. One strike on Lucroy. Johnson's been outstanding in a Rockies uniform. Had 2 more hits yesterday in an emergency start. Ryan Hannigan was in the lineup initially. It was game 4 of the 4-game set against Atlanta, day game after night game. And kind of like Lucroy's career started with the Rockies, he fell ill. Hannigan did before first pitch, so Jonathan had to jump in there, and he threw out a couple more hits. 0-2, and this one is gloved by Thames. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning for Garza. We're tied at 1 going to the 3rd at Coors Field on a beautiful Friday night. On AT Sportsnet is brought to you by the 2017 Toyota Tundra and your hometown Toyota stores. By bond fees, it takes all types to save lives, give blood. And by Southwest Airlines, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. That's a quaint town, Golden, Colorado. Good restaurants there. Pretty good brewery also.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. In the home of the Colorado School of Mines. Eric Thames leading things off in the third, and this ball's well hit to right center field by Thames, and this one is going to take one hop, go off the wall. It's triples territory. It's his second triple of the year.
He didn't miss that fastball. They threw a curveball first pitch, wanted to come back inside. I think he was looking for it because that's where they pitched him his first at bat when he popped up to Nolan. I think he was guessing inside, cheated a little bit to get to that fastball.
That was belt tie also.
Yeah.
So Neil Walker's at the plate. He grounded to second his first time up. Go ahead run with nobody out at third. That's a base hit. It's 2-1 Milwaukee.
Third RBI in a Brewers uniform for Neil. They're just trying to get that run in. Infield's playing back. Another mislocation. Wanted that pitch away. Goes back inside, and that's what's happened on these two hits in this inning. 2 times he's mislocation. The first one, Thames, he wanted it down and in, got it up, and that one they wanted down and away.
Ryan Braun at the plate. Braun struck out on a curveball in the dirt. And a line shot that DJ gloves. And right now, Marquez in the inning not missing barrels.
No, in the second inning he faced 6 hitters but only threw 11 pitches. This inning they've kind of figured him out.
Kind of like Hoffman yesterday, at least early. Hopefully this changes. And it was somewhat like this in Miami. There's not the finish on the fastball that we typically see from Herman.
Right, and we haven't seen anything really above 96. And occasionally we would see a 98 come in there.
Travis Shaw having a big year. 26 home runs, 79 driven in, a 293 average for the former Red Sox. And that's a good start. A curveball. What Boston's had to do to find a third baseman this year.
How many have they gone through since they got rid of Travis?
Well, they released Panda, and he's now back with the Giants. They made a trade with the Giants to get the Giants' current third baseman, the former Twin, Nunez. He was traded. There were other players involved, but Scott Thornburg was the big ticket going to Boston. Pitcher. This Milwaukee team is somewhat reminiscent of Harvey's Wallbangers. Story's going out. They'll make the catch.
Well, that was the crew with Gorman Thomas on it.
They had Ogilvy. They had successful Cooper. Some guys hit the ball over the fence. And this group, as we've been discussing, there's a bunch of guys that hit the ball over the wall. Domingo Santana at the plate, hit one over the wall last inning to tie the game at 1. It's 2-1 now Milwaukee. 2 outs. Walker still at first. And a first pitch curveball.
Of the 20 home runs Santana has hit, 10 have come to the opposite field. And that is third most in the major leagues.
He's got lightning bat speed. And that's another strike.
Well, one down in the Subaru strike zone, one up and in. Kind of fooled on both of those curveballs.
This is a big young man. Just turned 25. Look at him. 6'5", 230.
I thought he was a pitcher when he first walked out in the dugout today. Yeah, pitcher getting ready to go out and do some long toss. So they grabbed the bat and I saw the number. I was like, wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah, he is.
One, two, and he beat him with a fastball. So a strikeout ends the inning. Thames a triple, Walker a base hit. It's 2-1 Milwaukee, middle of 3.
One, and the party is over at the KC. We are here, ready to get things rocking. Got some fans here. They've got some hot dogs. They've got some fixins, Drew and Huey, and I brought some swag too. So we got to get people hooked up with some stickers, some eye black. All right, for this party, you need to put some stickers on. All right, can you start the party and get because it's a Rockies party. We got the game on. We're having fun. Who needs eye black? Rockies eye black. You do. Or how about for your fingernails? We got to get the party going. All right. You're an eye black gal? Okay, perfect. So things are starting to rock here. I'm handing out some swag, and we'll talk to some of the Rockies fans at the KC. We've been waiting for this forever.
Yeah, it's kind of like Coors Field version of Wrigley Field, right?
On the rooftop.
There's always, those folks are big Rockies fans, and when the Rockies are playing, there's a party going on that deck. Gotta love it.
Mark went over there for the free food.
Hopefully he brings some back and shares. Trevor Story leading off, and he's got an 0-2 count against Matt Garza. And this is popped up by the screen and out of play. Trevor, you know, if you're wondering, you know he struck out a lot this year. His sophomore season, he has struck out 36.2% of his at-bats. A year ago, when he hit 27 home runs in 97 games before the thumb injury derailed the rest of his season, He did strike out, but it was at 31.3%, so it's 5% more, which is fairly significant. And you'd like to see that naturally. You would hope it would go the other way with a little bit of experience. So next year, I'm sure will be interesting to follow that. 1-2. His isolated power also is down from a year ago. The way you determine isolated power, that is your slugging percentage minus your batting average. So a year ago he was at 296, which was tremendous. This year he's at 198. 1-2. And a shattered back slow roller. RC is going to have to hurry, and he just does get Trevor. So 5 in a row. Check it, 6 in a row set down by Matt Garza, and that'll bring up German Marquez. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 or more, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special, Lip Mas at Taco Bell.
Garza's found a little something since the double play to end the first inning. He was right at 50-50 ball to strike ratio.
Matt Garza has been a 15-game winner a couple times in his career. He's also a guy, how many folks remember this? I didn't. In 2008, he was the MVP of the American League Championship Series when Tampa beat Boston. That's going to be a base hit toward left center field. Broxton has a long run. Marquez is now going to turn it on, and he'll get into second with a double on a late slide where I thought he was going to hurt his ankle.
What? I don't think he thought he was going to be able to get to second base, but he did. And that's his second double this year.
Watch off the bat. This is not a textbook turning the cutting the bag at first, is it, Hugh?
No, it's not. He does cut it. It's one way to put it, but it's a slide that's way too late. That's dangerous. Watch that foot in the bag on the Subaru Supermo. Really, it's lucky that foot came off the bag and went up in the air. Hey, but it's a double.
It's a double with one ugly slide to complete the double.
Well, the ugly slide did not result in an injury, so all's okay.
Yep. Here's Charlie. All's okay with him, as it generally is. He had a home run to left his first time up. Trying to tie the game. Rockies down 2-1 in the third. Charlie with 307 total bases this year. That's the most in baseball. Let's take a look at our Mako big hit. Well, let's go back a couple innings. Charlie swung and missed at a breaking ball earlier in the at-bat. That one he takes out to left. Home run number 29, our Mako big hit. Got another Mako big hit. Two strikes.
Well, this is where he was. He was 1-2 actually when he hit that ball out to left field, but had 2 strikes, controlled swing. Last time they threw him a curveball that he took out, maybe a slider. It was 83 miles an hour. They go back to that, try to elevate a fastball.
One and two. Charlie came into the game second in the National League in hitting at 335. Third in the big leagues at 335. One out. Marquez at second. Milwaukee is one of those teams that shifts a lot. The Rockies have moved considerably away from the frequent shifts.
They want a fastball into Charlie.
And a base hit. Marquez had to let that fly by his head, so he's going to stop at third. And Blackmon's 2 for 2. First and third, 1 out. 53rd multi-hit game of the season for Blackmon. That's the most in baseball.
Talk about the shift, Drew. Well, he ends up hitting this ball right over the head of Herman, so he had to freeze momentarily. He's like, uh-oh, I got to make sure that one's by me. I know where the shortstop is, but if he would have taken another step, that would have taken his head off.
Here's LeMahieu. Blackmon, 4 more multi-hit games than the great Jose Altuve down in Houston. Rockies saw Jose Abreu earlier this year. He's had another strong campaign for the White Sox.
DJ gets a hit here. He moves up into a tie with Ender Inciarte.
And this should get the job done. Shallow center. Broxton sliding catch, and Marquez didn't tag. That is a mistake by Marquez. Pitcher or no pitcher, you have got to tag there.
It's bad base running. Because when he slides, you're going to be able to come in and score. Okay, so that ball's up in the air. Go back and tag. Watch when he catches this ball. Okay, he catches it, and then he turns all the way around. Here it is on the Subaru Supermo. So he catches it. You can take off. You're 3, 4, 5 steps now into this, and you score, because he wasn't even worried about the guy at third base. Did you see him? He's just like, okay, I caught him.
And hopefully Nolan can come through and make that a moot point. Nolan hit a sharp ground ball at Shaw his first time. He takes a strike. Garza, when he's going well, will work in more than most pitchers.
He understands the value of it. Can't let guys lean out over the plate.
Going there too frequently. Nolan turns and hits one in the seats a lot. 1-1.
Was underneath the arms on the Subaru strike zone at Nolan.
Even though that ball by LeMahieu off the bat, you thought it was going to be deep enough, and it was hit more off the end of the bat than I realized. But once he slides,
that's what I mean.
This ball in the air to right field and deep. How deep? Off the wall deep. That'll score 2. Nolan is heading towards third, and he's there safely. 2-run triple, and the Rockies take the lead. His 7th triple of the year. He got it just over the head of Santana, and his 104th and 105th run batted in of the year.
Kind of bails out Herman too. Now he hits his ball, and Santana keeps going back. Head down on the Subaru Supermo. Right now he knows, I got to get on this horse to third base, and then the wild throw by Santana, but 2 more runs in, and Nolan being Nolan again, coming through in the clutch.
That was enormous. He's produced almost 17% of the Rockies' runs this year. Personally responsible. Now
It just when Garza thought, okay, maybe I can get out of this inning unscathed.
Gerardo rolled into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. 146 games in a Brewer uniform, .312 batting average 2 years ago for Gerardo. And a base hit. Come on down, Nolan Arenado with run number 4. Off the top of the glove of Orlando Arcia. Boy, the top of that order has been sensational this year.
Well, and then these two guys with 2 outs, the old backbreakers. Got him on a rollover to the double play the first at bat. Not that time. Fastball running away from Gerardo. And then off the glove of Orlando on the Subaru Supermo. And he got up there. It's hard to jump as you're running towards the ball to get any height, and he almost snagged that thing.
He's a really gifted athlete, exciting young shortstop, but fortunately he couldn't pluck that one out of the air. Here's Reynolds. Struck out looking on a 3-2 curveball. On the ground to third. Shaw with an easy play. In the inning, the Rockies scored 3 times, all with 2 outs. Nolan naturally in the middle of it. And then the Gerardo Parra base hit. I'll have one in a moment. Thank you. 4-2. Sportsnet is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By UC Health, live extraordinary. And by the Wyoming Office of Tourism. Wyoming is full of adventure. It's time to find out if you are too. That's why. TravelWyoming.com. We go to the top of the 4th inning. It's a party going on across the way. The Rockies leading 4-2 with Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, who's over there stealing food. I'm Drew Goodman. Of course, always with us, our tremendous AT Sportsnet baseball crew. Buddy Black's going to join us in a little bit from the dugout. This is a big series for the Rockies. Players don't like to
They won't say that
because they are conditioned, as you were for many years, Huey, to talk about it one day at a time. And that's true, and you got to grind it out in baseball. However, you're talking about the 3rd week of August and a team that is pursuing a wild card spot. The Rockies began the day in a dead heat with Arizona, 4.5 above Milwaukee. Pitches in there on Manny Pena.
Yeah, but if we were talking to reporters or, you know, in the media, yeah, that's what you say. But if you're sitting around with a small group, you're saying that. Or if you're having coffee in the morning with your wife, you're saying, yeah, but this is a big series for us. We need to go out there and we need to take care of business.
Ground ball to short. Story. 1 out. You see the difference on fastball location. Balls that are coming in 96, 97 are hard to lift when they're around the knees. Pena's grounded out twice to Story. Here's Keon Broxton. He had a sharp single to center in the 2nd.
On 11 for 17 on the night with first pitch strikes, including 8 straight to the Brewers. It just jinxed them. I think for Broxton, He is the one guy that you can pitch up to because he keeps his hands so low.
Curveball's inside, 2-0. Keon started out the season really slow, then he got hot, then he hit a tailspin. In fact, at one point he was sent out. It seems like he's getting hot again. 3 home runs in his last 2 games, the single in his first at bat. Broxton first fouls that off. First 14 games was 5 for 42. Next 20, 80 and 337. Next 16, 4 for 49. Ooh. Next 16, 353. Next 19, 3 for 53. And then he, you know, his next 14 games right around 300. Those are extreme.
Huge extremes.
2-2. Curveball's a hanger. Marquez got away with one.
That's okay. You could throw him another breaking pitch, because on the year Keon's hitting 164 against breaking pitches, 10th worst in all of baseball.
I like what you said originally. Go fastball up. Like there.
Yeah, there's a couple areas. Above the belt is okay, and also away from him, because when you have your hands, and that looked like a strike on the Subaru strike zone, pitch number 6. But if you keep your hands low, you got to do something with him to get him back up into a launch position.
That's a good pitch.
Yeah.
Broxton has to make a left turn. 2 outs, strikeout number 3 for Marquez.
Where were the 2 areas I said? You could go up or you could go away from him. He did it both on the Subaru strike zone. This time he goes away from him. Well received by Jonathan. Pretty easy call behind the plate. Right at the knees on the Subaru Supermo.
Now the young shortstop, the 23-year-old Orlando Arcia. When he came up,
was that a couple years ago?
Well, it was late. I thought it was it last year? When the Rockies saw him, Milwaukee played the final series of the year at Coors Field. Took 2 or 3 actually from Colorado.
He was overmatched at the plate.
You could see the flash defensively. But he's obviously made some adjustments. He's hitting in the 290s. Or actually 284, but he's been above that. He's got 11 home runs, so you know there's a little juice in the bag. It's down low. 2 balls and a strike. We'd love to finish the inning here. 3-1, I should say. Scoreboard has 2-1. 3-1. Now 3-2. Finish the inning here. Get the pitcher Garza leading off next inning. Now Arcia last year, he got 55 ball games, hit just 219. And he lost him. Arcia doesn't realize what's going on here. So I thought that was ball 4 also. He's still standing at the plate. I guess it was.
The Brewers are starting to ask from the dugout.
His counsel saying that's 4. Arcia didn't remember. Wolf didn't remember. What's on your clicker? Now Jim's going to get help from his 3 teammates. The weird thing is the scoreboard, you know, it happens every once in a while.
You know what? They're going to go check this with New York.
Yeah. Though the scoreboard had 2 and 1. That's what, I looked at that, and it's funny in my head. I hesitated. I said I thought it was 3 and 1, but okay, 2 and 1. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. And
this might be a first this year.
To check, go to New York to check the count.
The count.
And we've been told by our truck that was the 6th pitch, and it is ball 4, so they'll figure it out, and Arcia will go to first, and Matt Garza will come up. You were hoping to be able to get Arcia there again. Have the pitcher
Well,
leading
even the
off
Brewers
the
at
next
first, they weren't quite sure. Nothing was said for 2 or 3, 4 seconds.
Did you ever lose track of the count when you were at the plate?
A couple times I had hoped that it was ball 4 before it actually was. I did it that way.
Yep, so now he's going to go down to first.
Tried to sneak it just on a ball 3 to see if they caught me.
You did try that.
Yeah.
Cheater.
I know. And you know what? They did.
They got you.
They got me. I don't think you would never forget how many strikes you had on you. Might be a ball or 2 that you would lose track of.
The only time I've seen that happen, Huey, and you have also, here's Garza, here's ball 1, is when a guy checks his swing and they check very quickly and he may not thought he didn't swing and didn't notice that the first base umpire or the third base umpire, whatever the case may be, had indicated it was a strike.
Yeah, we've seen
and then
that.
it's usually like, you called that a strike?
Come on.
I thought it was 2-1, not 1-2.
But not that where it was ball 4 and the guy's still standing at the dish.
Two and 1. I know at lower levels, Huey, that would aggravate the head coach in amateur ball or manager, you know, at the lower minor league level. At the big league level, especially like when a guy forgets how many outs there are, I would think that gets under the skin a little bit of.
It does. It still does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say more of the outs, not knowing how many outs there are, because you can look up to a giant scoreboard and see those, and you're always checking how many outs. What do we got?
Right. You want to be dialed in there. 2-2.
See it.
And so 5 more pitches, and that ends the inning. Marquez with RC at first. We're in the middle of the 4th. The Rockies leading 4-2. Cargo lead it off. AT Sportsnet RM on Twitter to cast your vote. Twitter post-game show will feature the results. Do you have plans to view the solar eclipse on Monday? I hope so, but here's a public service announcement, and I'm sure all of you are aware of this, but just in case, do not, even for a moment, from everything I've read, look at it without having the proper viewing glasses on.
Everywhere I went in the last couple of days, I tried to get the glasses. I even went to Grease Monkey to try to get the glasses.
And you're not able to get them?
Nope, they're sold out.
Because I haven't gotten mine yet. What are we going to do?
I have no idea. Well, you can go online and they can say, I don't know.
You got to make something.
You got to
right?
make something then. But
I'm not creative enough to make it properly.
Okay, but again, don't look directly at it, okay?
No. but that's exciting.
It is.
Once in a century. Rockies up 4-2. Cargo flew to center field his first time up. Outside.
I know there was a long line up driving up I-25 north today, heading up towards Wyoming and Casper.
You see what they're getting for hotel rooms
yes.
up there? What is it, like 20x?
At least.
Cargo went 1-1. He's upset with that. Shift is on against Carlos. He sees it quite a bit. And Rockies a year ago, we were discussing this last inning, they shifted fourth most in baseball. Now they are at the other end of the spectrum. There's only 4 teams that have shifted fewer than the Rockies have. And that is going to get down.
Thank
I'll tell
you.
you what, Santana is, and we've heard this about him, he's kind of a reluctant outfielder. He's played out there a bunch, but he never looks comfortable.
No, and I said thank you because Cargo would have made this catch and probably wouldn't even had to dive for it. Instead, Santana backs up. So here he is. Instead of coming in towards the ball, he goes the other way. So he backs up. This has some topspin on it. He says, no, I'll go ahead and play it on the hop when I could have made 3 steps in and caught that about my waist. But for Cargo, as I said, you're running down the line saying, get down, get down. Oh, thank you.
So a leadoff single. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. See if the Rockies can build some more runs. Home run in the first from Blackman. They got 3 last inning. One on Lucroy. Bounce to Eric Thames on an 0-2 pitch to end the second inning.
And talking to catchers who are coming back to play a guy that they've caught, it's kind of a hard one because you know what he likes to throw in certain counts, but then are you out thinking yourself? So you're kind of going up there, well, this is a count that he would throw a curveball on, but is he going to do that because I know it? So you end up second guessing yourself a lot.
Garza both times now has gotten ahead 2 strikes on Lucroy. Jonathan 7 out of 16 in that Atlanta series, also drew 2 walks. Came in hitting .371 with a .511 on base percentage in a Rockies uniform.
805 games played in a Brewers uniform.
We were talking to Craig Counsell about Lucroy before the game, and you know, he had a lot of really nice things to say about Lucroy. And they were teammates first. You know, before he managed him, they were teammates. And he said he just always admired how hard he worked and how he's made himself such a tremendous player. He said because when he came up, he wasn't this, you know, top prospect kind of player. 3rd round pick originally out of Louisiana Lafayette.
A 2-time All-Star.
And he's somebody, Huey, that each year you look at his numbers and you just say, okay, you know, good solid guy, good receiver, he throws out some hits. Then the next thing you know, he's throwing out some home runs. The average is going up. You know, he's good behind the dish. And next thing you know, you're talking about him as one of the top catchers in the game.
2-way catchers.
Yeah, 2-way catchers in the game. 2-2.
All right.
They're helping us out.
They said they had a couple extra pair.
Where do we pick them up? And Lucroy held his breath for a moment.
This is a breath holder. And looking at that Subaru strike zone, could have been called the strike. This is where Garza wanted it.
He's had a good slider tonight.
Very good slider. Nice depth to it. This will be the 7th pitch of this at bat coming up.
I can guarantee you this: if that pitch shows up again, Jonathan's firing at it.
I think, and if I'm Cargo, I'd take off at first.
He's going, and it's ball 4. That at bat started with 2 quick strikes on Lucroy. And as he has done since he put on the purple, he finds a way to reach. Whether it's via the walk or getting hit by a pitch or throwing out knocks. 2 on, nobody out for Story.
Jonathan had come into the game with a .511 on base percentage wearing purple, as you just said. And now it's going to go up even more because you look at Jonathan, walk, hit by pitch, whatever it takes.
He's a pro. That's the other thing Counsell said about him. He said he shows up every day and his singular focus is doing whatever he can to help his team get a win that night. There's no other agenda.
No. It's all about the W, the team W.
See what Trevor can do here. Sharply hit. Oh, Story gets robbed by Shaw. He throws it away. Here comes Cargo. Going to third is Lucroy. 5-2 Colorado. Shaw did the hard part. He made a wonderful stop, but then he threw it past Neil Walker. And the poor defense from Milwaukee we talked about early rears its head again.
Well, and this one really hurts too because you don't get the out at second base because it was a bad throw, eighth error of the year. You're right, Drew. He comes up. He's got the tough part, and then he sails it back into the runner. I mean, this is the worst place for a second baseman to try to get the ball because you got the runner coming in towards your feet. You got to try to lay out. So he stops it, gets a grip on it, and then just drops the elbow. There's still nobody out, and you get Herman who can lay down a bunt to put Trevor in scoring position.
He does a good job. Garza does the smart thing, especially with that runner on third. Simplify everything defensively, right, Huey?
Yes. Don't worry about that extra throw. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details.
And one of the last guys in baseball I'm sure Matt Garza wants to see right now is Charlie Blackmon. Home run in the first. In the third, he singled and would eventually score on a triple by Arenado.
They're going to put him on. They're not even going to pitch to him.
And I get it. Even though you don't want to face one of the top 10 hitters in the National League on deck in Mayhew, you're going to set up a force all the way around. And why face Blackmon if you don't have to?
And DJ has grounded into 17 double plays. So for DJ, they just do that. Now you have to make sure that you get a ball up, something that you can elevate in the air.
So here we go. 1 out, bases loaded. Rockies up 5-2. Chance to really expand their lead. Mayhew takes a first pitch slider. It's 0-1.
Well, and for Milwaukee, their outfield arms, Ryan Braun, you can go ahead and run on him. Same thing with Keon Broxton. And I know there's a kind of a stop sign, don't run on Santana. And right, it's because he has a strong arm, but only if he's charging hard. We've already seen a reluctancy on his part to come get the ball.
Lucroy at third, Story who can run at second, Blackmon can run at first. Here's the 1-1 on DJ. Foul ball.
First 3 pitches to DJ have been down and away.
Carlos Torres, he's been around. High, 2-2. DJ with a ground ball to second, and that will be a double play. Well, the Rockies get one on the 4-6-3 double play. The inning ends. Buddy Black will join us in a moment. Drew Goodman, Jeff Houston upstairs, and Buddy Black joins us from the Rockies dugout. Buddy, seems like the offense putting continuous pressure on Matt Garza tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're having good at-bats overall. Really like Luke Troy's at-bat there, falling behind and then coming back. But we're taking some good swings. Overall, we got to keep the pressure on.
And I look at Marquez, too, that early on really didn't have a feel for the curveball. The last inning plus, seems like he found it.
A little bit more, Huey, for sure. Still not there, but we need him to land that a little bit more and get the fastball in good spots. He's got good velocity. He's thrown a couple good fastballs at the knees, threw the ball by. Hit her earlier in the game up top at 97. So still got to mix and get the ball down, elevate when he needs to, and land that breaking ball.
Hey, Buddy, take it the rest of the way.
Thanks,
all right,
buddy.
boys. Okay.
Buddy Black downstairs. His club's in front 5-2. The Rockies have out-hit Milwaukee 7-4. And the aforementioned German Marquez will face the top of the Brewers order. So it's that always difficult for some third time through the lineup. Some of those topics that's always mentioned with the pitcher. How does he do the third time through? They've got a little bit of a book on him. He starts out with a curveball for strike one on Eric Thames.
And I think that's the key third time through. You know, being able to start him off with a get me over curveball, something off speed to get him off the fastball, doubling up on it.
That one rolled a little bit, missed. 1 ball, 1 strike on Thames. He tripled in the third and would score on a Neil Walker base hit. On the outside corner, says Jim Wolf, it's 1-2. The Cincinnati Reds can't stand Eric Thames. It's nothing personal.
No, it's not.
He's a good guy.
All the home runs he hit against him.
Well, he's hit 27 home runs this year, and 10 have come against the Reds. It's the most one player for the Brewers ever hit against a single team in one season. That's off the top of the fence, and it'll be a double for Thames leading off. Thank goodness the Rockies added onto that fence a year and a half ago, because that would have been gone.
Hit a triple in the third inning, now a double for Eric in the fifth. So that is about mid-thigh. He got that top hand, just threw enough where it just didn't have that final jet to get over that wall. A little bit of a top spin double.
Walker ground ball to second and a single to right to drive in Thames. You know, it is Coors Field. This is the Milwaukee Brewers, who bring a lot of pop to the yard, but that double play they turned on DJ, that was large. That was a kind of stay in the game type of moment for Craig Counsell's team.
Yeah, that's why they had Carlos Torres warming up.
DJ reaches there and and throws out an RBI or two. You got Nolan coming up. And
well, even if it's just a sac fly, I mean, you give you one more run and then you get Nolan up there.
Yeah. DJ comes through so frequently, not that particular time. That's why it's baseball.
That's right.
2-1. Marquez battling.
Well, he's coming out of that. He's coming out of the mechanics of that curveball. That is, his left shoulder is not driving towards the plate. It's spinning off and pulling off towards first.
It's giddy up there on that fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Braun on deck. Thames at second, nobody out. Rockies up 5-2. Ground ball deep short, and Story with a good throw.
There was so much going on in that play, Drew, because Thames acted for a moment like he was going to break towards third, and he didn't. So then Trevor has to backhand it and come up and throw. So watch Eric takes a step. No, I can't go. So Trevor says, well, I can't go to third. I got to go all the way across the diamond. And this is huge because you get the out, but the runner also doesn't advance.
Huey, I don't know if that was an intentional bluff, because if there's any hesitation from Story, it's going to be hard to get Walker, and there wasn't.
No, I don't think it was intentional. I just think he thought he could go, decided he couldn't, and then halfway through all of that, then Trevor had to change his mind. Well, I'm not going to third, I'm going to first.
Ryan Braun takes strike 1. Braun a strikeout, and he absolutely smoked the ball, but it was right at LeMahieu. Ball, 1 strike on Braun. You would have won a lot of money betting at the start of the year that Ryan Braun in August was still going to be wearing a Brewer uniform. Everybody had him traded last
to the Dodgers
last year. Well, at the trade deadline last year, and then in the offseason again, and then certainly by the trade deadline this year. And he was linked, knows if it was factual or not, to the Dodgers on a couple of occasions. He's a Southern California kid who went 3,000 miles away to play collegiately at the University of Miami, where he was an All-American.
Well, because the Brewers are where they're at now, and not only the Central but the wild card, they said, well, you need to hang on to him. We need his bat.
Yeah, they became super relevant, and he got him again on a curveball. That's a big strikeout by Marquez. Now they're 2 outs, not out of the woods, but you can see the daylight from the woods.
Feeling better about your situation after the leadoff double. You get the ground ball out, and a dangerous hitter, Ryan Braun, spikes the curveball. Jonathan blocks it. Great block by Jonathan. And then Braun doesn't run, so that helps Lucroy decide, well, Eric's not moving anywhere at second. I can wait for him, just go tag him. And now you got Shaw.
Dangerous man. Shaw with 26 home runs, the club leader. Marquez has gotten him on a ground ball to second and a pop to short. And he froze him there by spinning one. 0-1. Just off the outside corner. One ball, 1 strike.
Yep, set up, but 2 different pitches. You drop the curveball, but make sure it's down. Or you can go back upstairs with the fastball. Maybe a couple extra miles an hour. And this is where he can reach back and get those. That last pitch was 96. He can go get 98.
1-2. Yeah, you reach back there, Huey. You were all over it. Fastball at 97. Oh, I love this guy's makeup. 22-year-old German Marquez. Another 1-2. And this is at DJ on one hop. Reynolds to the bag. That's great pitching, folks. A leadoff double by Thames. You're in the thick of the Milwaukee order. And he calmly gets Walker, Braun, and Shaw, keeping the score 5-2 Colorado.
We're here at the KC having a little party left field. Can we get a go Rockies from everybody? I'm with Rachel. You wore your Rockies hat. I give you props for that.
Thank you very much.
And you moved here, so you're a converted Rockies fan?
I definitely am. Definitely am.
Good answer.
Wouldn't have bought the hat otherwise.
Right, and you don't have a koozie on your beer, so how about a Rockies koozie? There you go.
Very nice.
I know the KC has a bunch of koozies, but thank you. Everybody have a good time.
Incoming, Mark. Look out. That one took one hop on the concourse and is foul. I thought he was going to hit it to the KC, Mark.
It's the 7-second delay. We thought it might have been out.
It is almost out of the ballpark. Just foul.
You know, they may look at this. That's why we have a bit of a delay. That's over the top of it.
It's so high over the top, it's hard to discern.
Yeah, Buddy's not going to challenge it. You know, off the bat, I didn't think there was going to be any doubt.
No, me neither.
That thing landed closer to the KC than home plate. Nolan a triple his last time up to drive in 2.
Now, this was a big triple too, because this was with 2 outs. Santana attempted to make a play on it, didn't get very close, and then Nolan for his 7th triple of the year, driving in 2 runs.
Hit the ball very hard twice against Garza. Actually 3 times if you include that near home run a moment ago. 1-2. This ball's hit a ton to right, and Santana in the middle of the track makes the catch. Everybody's hand should hurt like his, huh?
Right.
Here's Parra.
He doesn't have it taped up because there's really no way you can tape it up. No padding there.
Gerardo single to left center in the third to score another Rockies run. It was his 58th RBI of the year. Matt Garza in 20 2/3 innings all time at Coors Field has given up 21 runs.
Come in with an 8.82 ERA at Coors.
Parra drives one high and deep right center. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. Make it 6-2 Colorado. Number 10 for Parra.
That's 6 Rockies now with double-digit home runs. Gerardo gave it his signature bat up in the air because he knew he had hit it. Watch, Gerardo, bat up in the air. I'll just drop it because this went off the back wall of the Rockies bullpen. 10 home runs and now 59 RBIs.
A strike on Reynolds. Marks 0 for 2. You know, it's one of the things you do first game of a series. You kind of compare team notes with your brethren on the other side, the television broadcasters for the Brewers. The other day, you know, when Chip Carey, Joe Simpson came in, especially the start of the series, you talk about your team, they tell you about what's going on with their team, and we sound like a broken record because one of the guys we talk about so prominently, even though he's battled a couple injuries this year, is Gerardo Parra. Said Parra's been unbelievable, and you know what? When we get to Kansas City on Tuesday, we'll say the same thing.
Yeah, to Rex Hudler and Steve Fisiak, they'll be like, okay, Gerardo, this year, just wipe away the stats from last year.
And Reynolds could beat this. He did. I wonder when the last time Mark reached on a strikeout. Pena had to go pretty far away, and then he didn't want to take the time to get up, so he threw it from his knees, and Reynolds just beat it.
And he didn't get much of a grip on it either. Watch when he goes back, because so he slides and his momentum is going back towards the stands. So he's got to worry about the runner, and then the throw. It'll be a wild pitch, and he's safe at first on the Subaru Supermo. So a strikeout, wild pitch.
What do you always say in these situations? Take advantage. One out, a run in. Cargo at the plate. He had a sharp single to right his last at bat. Rockies 37-23 at home. That's the third best mark in the National League. Outside.
Jeremy Jeffress up instead of Torres, who was up last inning.
Second tour duty for Jeremy in Milwaukee. My guess is there, Huey, tell me if you're with me, that Cargo, he let that fastball pass. He was sitting on a slider.
Yes. That's why he took that fastball. And it's okay. Nothing wrong with that, because that's what Garza has shown he was going to do in this game.
2-1.
Now they're really going to change the alignment up, or the Brewers, with this switch where they move Travis Shaw from third base. So this is now Travis. That's the third baseman right there. So he's over there. So they'll leave the shortstop on that side. Neil Walker closer to the bag.
One out. Reynolds at first. Parra a home run already in the inning. And this ball's well hit to left. Going back is Braun, and it is gone. Opposite field, 2-run bomb, Cargo. And the Rockies lead it 8-2.
How about that strikeout wild pitch? Had another run on, and this is vintage Cargo. We've seen this a number of times in his career. It gives him 8 on the season, 39 RBIs. They tried to go away to him, and that time he stayed all the way through it. Hips are connected to the hands, and this is a line drive. This looks like a right-handed pull hitter hit that one out.
Last year, Cargo hit 40. Cargo's hit a whole lot of home runs in his career, and we all know that when he's going well, it's not just the second and third deck shots to right. He'll hit balls out the other way. And with 2 strikes, boy, was that a joy to see. The Rockies up 8-2, and Garza's gone. Run. Gerardo Parra a home run in the 5th inning. The Rockies have chased Matt Garza. They're up 8-2. And now Jonathan Lucroy facing a very close friend of his, Jeremy Jeffress. They came up together in the Brewers organization. I said Jeremy's on his 2nd tour of duty with Milwaukee. I shorted him one. It's actually his 3rd tour of duty.
He had 27 saves last year for Milwaukee, and he, along with Jonathan, were traded to the Texas Rangers. So they're not only close buddies, they've also been involved in a trade together.
And for whatever reason, it didn't work for Jonathan this year. He was solid last year with Texas. Didn't work for him this year in Texas. And for whatever reason, Huey, it didn't work for Jeremy down in Arlington this year.
Who knows why? Yeah, maybe it was a situation you weren't getting as much playing time. They weren't pitching you in the right games that you thought you should be in. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
He's had a good arm, good split. 1-2. Yeah, I was talking to Jonathan recently about Jeremy. He's always been one of his guys, and now you're staring at one another from 60 feet 6 inches. 1-2. And this is popped up. Shaw will make the catch. Hey, guess what, folks? We've got tacos. The Rockies have passed the magic number of 7. Do not forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. I'll bring up Trevor Story. So Matt Garza in 4 1/3 gives up 8 runs, 7 earned. 9 hits. Walked 2, struck out 2. 3 homers allowed. And he had allowed 14 coming in, which is not, you know, an enormous amount.
But it was equally divided. 7 to right-handers, 7 to left-handers. Tonight, all 3 lefties got him.
Blackman got him. Oppo in the first. Parra pulled one, and then Cargo went Oppo. 2-0 on Story. Seventh career home run against Milwaukee for Cargo. Two and 1.
Jeremy fastball. Still rush it up there, 94 to 96. Curveball's his second pitch, and then a splitter. It's almost 90 miles an hour.
And a comebacker. This will end the inning. Rockies scored 3 more in the 5th. They used the big fly. Gerardo Parra hit one off the back wall of the bullpen. You could admire that one. And then Cargo, a line shot 2-run home run to left. 8-2 Colorado. We're off to inning number 6 at 20th and Blake. AT&T Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. So Charlie hit a home run. He gets a big bear hug from Parra. Parra hits a home run. He gets the bear hug from Charlie. And then Parra giving Cargo a bear hug. You want Gerardo at your wedding. He's the end of the receiving line. Warm, affectionate. He loves everybody.
And also, when you get to the reception and people are reluctant to go out and dance, I think he's going to be the guy to lead the conga line.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's the first out there. He's the best, isn't he?
He is great.
2-0 right now on Santana. That's a line drive to center. It's knuckling a little bit. That's a tough play, and Charlie made it look easy. 1 out, and that'll bring up the catcher, Manny Pena. Rockies up 8-2. Well, Huey, you celebrated a birthday a couple days ago, right?
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
My wife tonight is celebrating a very special birthday.
Christy.
And I know, I really doubt like she's concentrating on this game right now. She's got a lot of friends around her, but sweetie, happy birthday. I love you. It's a special one. And we're kind of, you know, making it we're kind of an annual, a year-long celebration.
I heard 6 a.m. this morning. Did you deliver breakfast in bed to her, or did you take her out?
I want her to have a happy birthday. All right? Understand that.
Okay.
No, we went out,
Okay.
and we had to go early because the kids all have school.
Yeah, 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 o'clock, we were out, and
she said she had a lovely day. I texted her this morning, wishing her a happy birthday.
We did okay?
You did fine. Yeah, she was very happy for today.
For today. Tomorrow's a whole nother animal.
I can vouch for you tomorrow.
Right?
Okay.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
So, happy birthday, babe.
Chrissy.
You bet. Manny Pena with a 1-1 count. And that's strike 2. Looking up at the pitch count. Pretty solid, Huey, in the mid-80s.
Yeah. It's very nice, too, after you score 3 runs, if you can get a quick 1, 2, 3 inning.
There's just something about German Marquez.
Well,
you know, when they talk about the it factor with certain athletes, this young man has it.
Think about the 5th inning. Leadoff double. You got Neil Walker. He's going to get him over. Then you got Braun. No. It's 6-3 strikeout, 4-3. And he started at second base after the first hitter. That's where he ended.
And he gets a strikeout of Pena. That's his 6th strikeout.
Well, the first 10,000 fans tomorrow will receive a Nolan Arenado bobblehead. That's courtesy of Breaks Plus. Remember that, the first 10,000 fans. Gates open at 4.
Key on a base hit, and he was caught looking. Marquez moves his feet. Two and 0. Just missed. 3-0. At the bottom of the zone, 3-1.
Make him earn it. He's going to get on. Make him earn it.
Three balls, 2 strikes on Keon Broxton. Let's talk about this era of baseball players. They wear more looser fitting uniform. Keon Broxton is put together. This is a strong kid. He just hit this ball a ton to center. 8-3. That's 4 home runs his last 3 games, and that is his 20th of the year. A no-doubter to center.
He's just one of 7 players in the major leagues to have 15 or more home runs and also 15 or more stolen bases. Part of his issue has been the high peaks and the low valleys, but he gets all of this one to dead center field. Shows you some strength to key on.
Steve Foster will go and check on his 22-year-old right-hander.
He's also buying Mike Dunn some time out in the Rockies bullpen.
There's Mike.
And the Milwaukee bullpen, it's Carlos Torres up again.
Marcia takes inside 1-0. Jonathan VR has come out in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due next. 2 outs, 8-3. And this ball's hit a long way to center field. And this one's gone. Almost identical spots. 12th home run for Arcia. This is Milwaukee, folks. They hit home runs.
Well, you fall behind. That's the problem for Herman. He fell behind to Keon, 3-0. It comes back, and then first pitch is inside to Arcia, so he's sitting on a 1-0 count. And both times they just squared him up. He got all the way through that one. You hope that, of your butt, that you can finish this inning with Herman, because he's due up first in the bottom half of the 6th.
This is probably his last opportunity to do that. Back-to-back 2-out home runs. Oh, maybe not. Here comes Buddy.
He wants to flip VR to the right side, where he's hitting 175 compared to 241 left-handed.
So Herman will be disappointed with how this one finished. He's in line for his 10th victory of the year. He goes 5 2/3. 8-4 Rockies. Pitching performance. Herman goes 5 2/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, the 3 solo home runs. He struck out 6, walked just 1. You like that ratio? He's in line for his 10th win of the year.
His 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 95 pitches. I know he's going to be a little disappointed with that, especially the last 2 guys.
So Mike Dunn, I'm sure it's nice for Mike, who's been in a really good spot to get back on the mound, because yesterday was a rough one for Mike. Rockies ended up getting blown out 10-4 in that finale against Atlanta. Mike gave up 3 out of the bullpen.
And just a third of an inning.
Good breaking ball to start out VR.
Just the splits. You see the numbers on Mike Dunn, 53 games. Have been in a really good spot, and it's going to happen even when you're in the good spots to come out and have a rough one. A third of an inning yesterday, 2 hits allowed by Mike. As you said, Drew, the 3 runs, had a walk. But for VR, as I said, as we were going to break, hitting 175 right-handed. But he has some power.
That is up and in. That ball is cutting. So it's 2-1 on Jonathan.
Wow. There's nothing you could do as you're standing at the plate when that ball's coming up towards your face. Just try to get out of the way and hope it doesn't hit you.
That's in the air to left center field. Charlie Blackmon territory. He's got it. That ends the inning. Keon Broxton a home run to center. Orlando Arcia a home run to center. The Rockies up 8-4, middle of 6.
I've been wanting to come up here and just hang out and see the crew that's up here watching Rockies games. My last person I'm going to talk to, your name is Denver.
It is Denver. Yeah, I was named after John Denver.
That's awesome. Tell me about living here at the KC and the experience.
Honestly, I love living at the KC. Like, these views are amazing, as you can see back here with Coors Field in the background, and these people are just amazing.
Everybody has said that it's like a real spirit here with the park.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's such a great energy here. Like, you can hear the games from your apartments, and it's amazing.
And the Rocks are rolling this year, so everybody's having fun. Thanks for having us up here.
That looks like a fun crowd who's got the weekend kicked off in the right manner. The Rockies trying to kick the weekend off in the right manner. They're up 8-4 as they bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, 9-1-2. Carlos Torres is now on the mound for Milwaukee. And Mike Tauchman, who was just brought back to the big leagues today, is going to pinch hit. He takes inside ball 1. Mike had a few at-bats earlier this year. 2-0. Carlos has done this year.
Carlos pitched for the Rockies in 2012.
5-3 in 31 appearances that year. Fouled off.
Also pitched for the Mets.
White Sox is where he first reached the big leagues. From Watsonville, California. He pitched collegiately, misses, at both San Jose State and K-State in Manhattan. Little Apple.
The Little Apple.
Yeah.
The Wildcats. A roommate from college was from the Little Apple.
Really? 3-1 on Tauchman. And a leadoff walk from Mike.
That's his 4th walk.
He's got a really good feel for the strike zone.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why he came up to fill that role from Ryan McMahon. And they wanted Ryan to go back down and play every day. If you're, I know I had some people ask me, what about Tapia? Well, he hadn't been down long enough because you got to stay down for 10 days unless there's an injury. Nothing against Mike. I'm not saying that, but that's part of the thought process.
Yeah, same thing for Carlos Estevez. Carlos had a save last night for the Topes. Here's Charlie, 2 for 2 and an intentional walk. Here's what he did in his first at bat of the ball game.
He had an opposite field home run yesterday, and then he does the same thing tonight. He gets the Rockies off to a nice start. 29th home run, 77 RBI.
He's got 58 home runs his last year and 2/3. And his batting average in August, .410. Number 1. See Ryan Braun on that list, Giancarlo Stanton. See if the Rockies can get those runs back. 1-1. Torres had a really good year last year for Milwaukee. 72 appearances and .273 ERA. Runner going, and Charlie is going to swallow. Man, get back on the bag. Couldn't do it. That goes down as a caught stealing. Excuse me, Tauchman. Charlie at the plate.
Great jump, and he was safe. Just forgot to keep the foot on the bag. It's a straight steal. Slide, tried to do the pop up. Oh boy. And then the dive back. Let's that foot just pop up off the bag. So much momentum.
Center field playable for Broxton. 2 outs. That'll bring up LeMahieu.
Jake McGee for the Rockies. The top of the 7th.
DJ 1 for 3. Oh and 1. Two strikes. Rockies have struggled with the Brewers in Denver. They've owned the Brewers the last couple of years in Milwaukee, but they're 3-6 the last 3 years at home against Milwaukee. Trying to turn that around here this weekend. Torres strikes out LeMahieu. We'll go to the 7th. Rockies 8, Brewers 4. This look back. Well, it started out nicely for the Rockies. It usually does when Charlie's involved. His 6th leadoff home run of the year. That was number 29. And then a little bit later on in the evening, Gerardo Parra went deep. That's to right center. And then with a man aboard after the hugs were distributed, Cargo behind in the count. Lines went over the left field wall. A 2-run shot, his 8th of the year. And the Rockies at that point in time led 8-2. It's now 8-4 because Orlando Arcia went back-to-back with Keon Broxton. That ended the night of German Marquez. Marquez goes 5 2/3. He's on the plus side. Matt Garza has the hook. 8-4 Rockies. That's our Cooney lets us look back. Top of the 7th. The new arm out there is Jake McGee. Jake will have Eric Thames leading off, Neil Walker and Ryan Braun. Top of the order for the Brewers.
Jake pitched Tuesday night. Inning in a third, had a strikeout. Very efficient during that game. Just 12 pitches.
Yeah, league hitting just .221 against Jake this year. And his first pitch is a tad bit inside at 93, 1-0. This kid had an unbelievable April returning from playing in Korea.
He was kind of the story in April.
He was not only the story in Milwaukee, he was their player of the month. Hit well over 300.
11 home runs.
Yeah, he hit 11 home runs. He's hit only 214 since then. He was one of the big stories in baseball the first month. And he's tardy there, 1-2. Eric Thames, in his first stint in the big leagues, hit 21 home runs. He's got 27 right now. Signed a 3-year deal in the offseason. 1-2. It's kind of bat speed you had one-handed, wasn't it, Huey?
He almost broke the bat one-handed.
Right.
He went, check him. Throw it to first. Never mind, just go touch him.
Yep, that's an out. He went around. So McGee strikes out Thames for the first out in the 7th.
Well, the next bike to the game is this Sunday. Ride your bike and enter to win great prizes courtesy of UC Health. Get more information at Rockies.com/green.
I'll bring up Neil Walker. Walker 1 for 3 tonight. Huey, we were talking earlier at the top of the broadcast about this series. You know, players, coaches, managers, they'll tell you, you know, it's another ball game. There's grinding along. It is. You have to play it from an athletic standpoint, one pitch at a time. However, Rockies were 4.5 up in the wild card beginning the night on Milwaukee. This is going to be a base hit through the left side for Walker. You know, the last thing you want to do, say lose Friday night, and then all of a sudden you go 3.5, and it kind of creeps in your head a little bit.
Feel some pressure.
Yeah.
Well, these games are they're always the 2-game swing. You know, instead of being up 3.5, you have a chance to go up 4 or 5.5. That's why it's a 2-game swing.
And the Rockies have the right rotation going. German tonight. Chad Bettis in his 2nd start since his return tomorrow, and Kyle Freeland will go on Sunday. So they are combined of late. For Chad, obviously, you have to go back to last year. 14-1. This is on the ground to Nolan. There's one, and on to first. Double play. 14-1 with a mid-2 ERA. And that's a big twist right there for the Rockies. Time to stretch at Coors Field. They're going to take a look at it. Pat Murphy, the bench coach, on the phone.
Ryan Braun's already taken off all the padding. He's ready to go out to left field.
He's out.
He's out. One more peek at this. Ball. Yep, in glove. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th.
Rockies up 8-4. Beauty of the weather and our city. 8-4 Colorado. With Jeff Houston and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. It'll be Nolan Arenado and then Gerardo Parra and Mark Reynolds. Second inning of work for Carlos Torres. Nolan takes outside. Nolan a triple to drive in 2 in the 3rd. And he hit a ball to the wall and right in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. Nolan in his career checks his swing. A .395 hitter against Milwaukee. An OPS of around 1,200. He has 20 RBIs in 20 career games. Carlos Torres hasn't thrown him anything to hit. 3-0.
Because he knew those numbers. He'd memorize those numbers when he went out to the mound.
This guy's really good. I've watched him on TV.
I've seen him.
And a 4-pitch walk to Nolan. So the Rockies have the leadoff man on, trying to add on here in the bottom of the 7th. And here comes Gerardo Parra. He's driven in a pair tonight. RBI single to left center in the 3rd, and then a big fly.
And that was with 1 out in the 5th inning. Took a curveball deep from Matt Garza. Knew it off the back wall of the bullpen. Some more hugs for Charlie Blackmon. At that time, it was still just a 5-2 game.
Cargo, a couple doors down, hit that big 2-run home run. We have some guests in the booth, and an old friend of ours just said to us, he called Cargo's home run. He said, that was huge. Fans get it.
They do. They understand.
Absolutely. That was huge. Gave the Rockies big separation. Great to see Cargo go opposite field. And now
Especially
6 straight out of the zone to begin the inning for Torres.
So you got to be really selective if you're Gerardo now. Even if you You're looking for a pitch. He throws one, but it's on the corner. Go ahead and take it. Don't kind of bail him out.
This is fought off and foul, I believe, down the left field line. What I should be doing, homework, what I'm doing, watching Nolan Arenado and my team own the Brewers.
But how about that?
It's
though?
the first week of school.
And
I
it's
mean,
a Friday night.
Yeah, you got Sunday
Cut
night.
yourself some slack.
That's right. What's Sunday night for? We're doing homework.
How about early Monday morning?
That time too. This ball is hit hard to center. Broxton's right there. 1 out. 1 out, and that'll bring up Mark Reynolds. Mark's 0 for 3, though he reached on a strikeout, wild pitch in the 5th inning, and that's right in front of when Cargo went deep. Ball 1.
Nishak up, getting ready for the 8th in the Rockies bullpen.
On the outside corner at 93, a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Careful. Pena behind the plate has 6 pickoffs, which leads the major leagues.
They are very happy with that.
Well, he's got 2 at first. He has 4 at second.
It's a little closer than you would like.
Well, Nolan got his hand stuck, his right hand stuck in the dirt as he was diving back, so it took him an extra beat to hit that back corner.
Reynolds held up. 3-1. Nolan, after that last pickoff attempt, he had a little league lead.
He had an anchor around the bag.
Yes, he did. He was literally like a half a step off the bag.
Right there. Stop.
And back-to-back walks, or actually not back-to-back, but 2 in the inning. Sandwiched by that line drive to center by Parr. So 2 on for Cargo with 1 out.
Fans, tomorrow night the Rockies and the Baseball Tomorrow Fund are hosting an equipment drive. New and gently used baseball equipment will be collected at all gates prior to the game.
Here's what Cargo's home run looked like in the 5th.
And it was a beauty. Going opposite field on the fastball. Pitch away from him. He stayed through that one. He didn't get out onto his front sides. Hit behind the baseball for his 8th home run, 39th RBI. He's now hit 21 out of his last 25 games.
And this is a good pick at first by Thames and a double play to end the inning. So we move on to the 8th. The Rockies leading 8-4. AT Sportsnet is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Say yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Rockies leading 8-4 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. And with the first batter being Travis Shaw, Jake McGee will stick around for one hitter, is my guess, as Pat Neshek continues to fire bullets down in the Rockies bullpen.
Jake only has thrown 8 pitches in the 1 inning. He was out by the double play off the bat of Ryan Braun to end that 7th.
And that's a strike on Shaw at 94. Shaw ground ball to second on a couple of occasions and a pop to short. 8-4 Rockies. First to 3 against the Brew Crew. Brewers came into this contest 63-59 overall. Pretty good team out on the road, 28-29. Anything around 500 gets your attention. Former Rocky Craig Counsell. We just saw him jumping around a still photo that is one of the more memorable ones in Marlins history. He scored the game-winning run in the '97 World Series on an Edgar Renteria hit.
Briefly played with Craig down in Colorado Springs.
Good pitch. McGee does his job. He strikes out Shaw in the 8th. Buddy comes hopping out of the dugout. He'll bring in Neshek. Nice outing for Jake McGee, which is generally the case. Gets a glove 5 from Jonathan Lucroy. Passes on the baseball. 8-4 Colorado. Back in a moment with Pat Neshek. Chad Bettis will reflect on his inspirational first start back after battling testicular cancer. Pitching coach Steve Foster talks about that emotional start from his perspective, and plus get to know one of the Rockies' top prospects, Ryan McMahon. That and plenty more this week on The Club. That's Sunday after the Toyota postgame show. Crowd at just under 33,000 tonight. Kids back in school. Here's Pat Neshek trying to school Domingo Santana. And on one pitch, he gets Santana.
The numbers for Pat: 154 ERA in 52 ball games. Been a little bit of a bad luck at times here in a Rockies uniform. It's great for him to come out, 1 pitch, 1 out, I think for this whole weekend too, you mentioned about the starters, Drew, and the way they're lined up going against Milwaukee. Well, Monday's an off day, so Bud can use his bullpen and lean on him pretty heavy too if he needs to this series, where these guys can go 2-3 days in a row, knowing you have an off day before you start that road trip.
Stephen Vogt just came off the disabled list. Is going to pinch hit for Manny Pena. And he takes strike one. I'll tell you an interesting story about Steve Vogt. He's had a nice big league career. Oakland A's, guy with some pop. He played summer ball for a couple of years for the Fort Collins Foxes. This ball's lined to the corner, and it is fair. Cargo up with it, and he's going to fire a dart in right on the bag. A double for Vogt.
Fox is up at Fort Collins, huh?
Yeah. You and I both on different occasions gone up there and spoken to their team at the end of the season.
He just comes off the DL, and they've been missing his bat. From the left side, Stephen hitting 250 coming into the game. A little slider down and in. He's gone down and played 6 straight to try to make sure he had that swing right when he was activated. Kept that ball 6 inches fair.
Keon Broxton swings and misses. Broxton tonight, a single, a strikeout, and then a home run to center. Really important little sequence here. 2 outs, runner in scoring position. Pat can get Broxton. I got to watch the Foxes play this year. Jacob was playing against them, oldest son, and they have a nice little ballpark up there, and they get a lot of fans out.
Nice little league.
It is a nice little league. Summer Collegiate League. 1-1, 2-1. Two and two. Boy, if you throw another pitch right there,
and they give,
you're going to get the same result, my guess.
Yes, you
would
will.
Be.
Started on the plate. If you're Pat, you can get Keon to chase it off.
2-2. He just got a nick of the baseball with the end of the bat. Broxton has struck out 143 times in 340 at bats. He's got a little feast or famine in his young game. Strike 3. Good job by Nishek. He freezes Broxton with a fastball. Well located on the Subaru strike zone. That'll leave Vogt at second base. It'll take us to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies +4 on the scoreboard.
tomorrow night is the University of Wyoming night. Come watch the Rockies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. You can purchase a special ticket package to receive the limited edition Wyoming Cowboys themed Rockies hat. Tomorrow night.
Hey, we're going to have Tom Berman on, longtime AD at the University of Wyoming tomorrow. Talk about the upcoming football season, among other things. Wyoming has the preseason player of the year in the Mountain West on offense and defense.
Josh Allen's being talked about as being the #1 overall pick already in next year's NFL draft.
Could be. Jonathan Lucroy is going to lead it off for the Rockies in the 8th. Carlos Torres still out there. Torres not allowed to hit, but he's walked 3. And now behind the plate is Stephen Vogt. He pinch hit for Manny Pena. On the ground to second. That'll bring up Story. Trevor's 0 for 3. Good news from down in Phoenix, Huey. Top of the 9th. The Twinkies of Minnesota 10. Arizona 3. Is it a final now? Oh, I said, you know what? That actually is not in Arizona. That's in Minneapolis.
It's great news.
Going 1 on Trevor. Here we're talking about Josh Allen, and of course Andrew Wingard, who's a terrific safety. He's an NFL prospect. He's out of Ralston Valley High School.
That's right.
He's the preseason defensive player of the year in the Mountain West.
Flies around, that hair coming out of the helmet.
Yep, he'll hit you. They got a nice schedule.
They got a tough one. They open up at Iowa. They come home. Got the Austin Pay, and then
they got the Ducks coming to
September
Laramie.
15th. They're adding 2,000 seats to the south end zone. Hey, Drew, don't tell anybody I'm going to be off that day.
Is that still that's in September, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm off.
We knew you were going to be off. I think the Cowboy will be joining you.
Yes.
Good eye. Here's Patty Barrels. Pinch hit. And that's now 21 straight games that Trevor has had a strikeout. And that's a streak he'd like to break, clearly. Aaron Judge going through a spell like that here in the second half.
And Brad Hopp has the Rockies record, 26.
So here's Valleca.
Pinch hitter extraordinaire, 15 for 40 pinch hitting. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs.
On the swing. In the 9th inning, it'll be Orlando Arcia, a pinch hitter, and then Eric Thames from Milwaukee. Rockies have Greg Holland up. For most teams, but especially at Coors Field, 4 runs means your closer is going to be in the game.
And like I said, you have the off day on Monday. Okay, so you're at the point now. This is game 122. I mean, every out doesn't matter. Sometimes the personal records aside or whatever's happening, you gotta lock this game down.
Yep.
You worry about tomorrow.
From Milwaukee's standpoint, Carlos Torres has saved their bullpen a little bit. He gets a strikeout of Valleca. He works a 1-2-3 8th inning. He goes 3 innings, 3 scoreless innings. Rockies, though, looking for 3 more outs. They're up 8-4.
We head to the top of the 9th, getting ready for the Toyota postgame show coming up right after this game. Jenny Kavnar, Corey Sullivan with you. This is the fun start. The Rockies in that wild card race. Milwaukee breathing down their neck. Put some separation.
Yeah, it was a nice approach that they had right there off Matt Garza. 5 extra base hits, 3 for 7 runners in scoring position, but they need to put it away. Don't rest on your laurels. You got 3 more outs to get.
That's exactly right, and we'll see you after those 3 outs right here on the Toyota postgame show, guys.
Jenny, we like your way of thinking, you and Sully. Greg Holland will try to get those last 3 outs. Orlando Arcia will lead things off for Milwaukee.
Greg's had some time off. Last pitched on the 14th with Monday, the first game of the Atlanta series. '46 appearance.
Cubs won tonight at home against Toronto 7-4. Marcia, long home run to center field his last time up. This is his 12th of the year. 40 RBIs for the young shortstop. And Greg pours that first fastball over the plate at 93. And it's 0-1. This is game 5 of a 7-game homestand for the Rockies. 2-2 against Atlanta. Chad Bettis tomorrow against young right-hander from Milwaukee, Brandon Woodruff. He's actually pitched pretty well.
That would be his 3rd start. The loss in the outing against Minnesota, but 5 2/3, just 2 earned runs, 3 hits.
1-2. Swung on and missed, 1 out.
Got ahead, and then he threw him the nasty pitch. That slider down with bite. She is reaching for it. Just in the dirt. Come up with just tag him out.
Eric Sogard's going to pinch hit. Carlos Torres. Ball 1. And that's outside 2-0. Pitch walk.
Well, that's the last thing Greg wanted with a 4-run lead. Get the first guy to strike out. Now you come to the top of the lineup.
Eric Thames, a triple in the 3rd, a double in the 5th. He's 2 for 4. Been hitting in the 2 spot most frequently this year. And Lucroy catches that.
I think he was running
catching,
out there.
Yeah, he was running at the same time. He caught that. I always say this about closers. They're adrenaline junkies. And not that they're not as intense in these types of situations, but sometimes it seems like the focus may not always be as acute. To dial it back in. 1-0. Two 2-0.
6 straight out of the zone. Eric 0 for 3 against Holland. All 3 of those came in that opening series.
And that's outside. Last thing you want to do, stating the obvious, is create traffic where the tying run comes up. You just want to enjoy a little cup of water and get ready to give high fives. Moving up is Sogard. Defensive indifference. Three and 1. Three and 2.
Ooh. 2 close ones on the Subaru strike zone. Pitch 4 and 5. Just nipping the corners. I like the receiving end of that from Jonathan.
Three-two. Got it. He came all the way back for the second out.
That looked like the left-handed slider. It was going away from Eric. It backs up. But it had the action coming out of the hand like the 2 fastballs that were called for strikes. See how much Eric missed that by.
Here's Neil Walker. 2 for 4 tonight, 2 singles. Sogard at second. Rockies up 8-4 in the 9th. Ball 1, 8 runs, 9 hits, and an error for the Rockies. 4 runs, 9 hits, and an error for Milwaukee.
the upper deck.
Dodgers are in Detroit. They won tonight again, 8-5. They're now 86-34. It's really
crazy.
It's just ridiculous. But guess what happens at the start of October?
0-0.
That's right. One. The other element of this clearly for Greg Holland is, don't go out and have a 28-pitch inning, which could compromise your participation tomorrow. He's at 17 pitches right now.
I had one of those earlier this year. 30, 35, 38 pitches, somewhere in that range.
In the air to Charlie in center field. It's pretty well hit though. But Charlie's going to get back. He's going to make the catch. Ball game over. Great start to this series for the Rockies. Its most important series against Milwaukee, who is pursuing them, and Arizona the wild card, and the Rockies win 8-4 on a Friday night. German Marquez with his 10th victory of the year. He's the third Rocky now to eclipse the 10-win mark. And taking the loss is Matt Garza. Well, that was fun. Well, Gerardo Parra, let's go get the baseball. He provided us with our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. He had a base hit here to drive in a run fairly early on. And then in his next at bat, he got a breaking ball and he hammered it off the back wall of the bullpen. And for Gerardo, that was his 10th home run of the year. And the Rockies giving out hugs in the dugout. They win it tonight 8-4. Splendid start to the weekend. Here's Jenny and Corey. Guys, all yours.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. Parra's home run was fun. Charlie's home run was fun. But I got to give credit where credit was due. My partner called Carlos's home run and called the score.
I did call the score before the game, but these guys deserve all the credit. It was pretty cool. They did a great job putting away a team they need to. We'll show you coming up on the postgame show.
Got it, baby. Yes, sir.